I'm going to show you how to do something really cool that can save you a lot of time. Now, it's a little nerdy, but don't be scared because trust me, it's not as hard as it looks. And of course, you can always ask questions in the comment and I'll do what I can to help you. This is kind of cool. Now, when I make my videos, I tend to pick somebody that I know and make like I'm talking to a friend. It just makes it easier. And I highly suggest you do the same. In this particular case, the victim, the friend, is my buddy Alec, aka AJ, aka Pumpkin, aka Take One Tech, who is a phenomenal YouTuber who's always doing some really incredible stuff to show you how to do things as far as being a creator and using the tech it takes to be a creator. We're both creators. We both love tech. So AJ, you're it. Also, Alicia, you might want to pay attention to this as well because this might help you in the long run. But let me give you the nutshell. As you create content, which I create a lot, I create every single day, you generate a lot of files. And on a Mac that only has like a 2 terabyte drive, I run through them file space quickly. So I like to get things off of there and put them away in what we call cold storage. Now, cold storage is typically something like an external drive. Now, this is a tiny 4 terabyte SSD, but I have a 96 terabyte machine, NAS, network attached storage, Synology, sitting in the back room. I want to move these files over there, but I want to tag them properly and put them in the proper location. The problem is when I open my Ecamm Live recording folder, because I record so much content, I literally will have hundreds of files in there. And I normally go in and clean them suckers up on Sunday. Sometimes Sunday get out of hand, whiskey, or Raiders lost, I'm sad, I don't do it. And then a couple weeks go by and I got hundreds of files in that folder. And it's a pain in the butt to go find the files that I created on Tuesday for the podcast and move them where to go. On Tuesdays, I record the Flow podcast and the Creators Unstuck podcast. And then on Saturdays, I'm doing the regular live stream and the Zoom meeting for the private group. And it's a lot of files. So let me show you what I did. Let me pop over to Claude real quick. Now, this will also work with ChatGPT. And again, don't be worried if you don't know how to do a lot. It can help you. Trust me, it can help you. All I did was ask it a simple question, kinda, and it figured it out. So let me show you what I mean. Pop over to Claude real quick, and I'm using Claude on the desktop, and I told it, I even wrote the command wrong. I said, yo, it's supposed to say yo, it says you. I talked to my Claude gangster, it talks back to me gangster. Never mind that. I said, yo, find the files created on Tuesday in this particular path, but when I tried my any search query, nothing was working in Mac OS 26. That's because Apple always likes to change the way commands work, and this whole crazy crap here, this is stuff I learned working at Apple that you don't need to know, but it was basically file creation dates have a little tag on it that says, MD item created creation date equals time. The ISO for the time is the way time writes, 2411. And then I wanted it to find files on Tuesdays inside my Ecamm Live folder. Please help or give me a better approach. And Claude was like, boy, you stupid. Like, that's the old school way. So it gave me a bunch of terminal stuff. You don't need to know all of this. It gave me a bunch of terminal stuff. And I'm like, okay, these are really good ideas. Let me run with it. So let me show you the file that it created. And it gave me a nice script, which is how it would work. And normally you would have to know how to write the script, but nowadays you don't have to know how to write script. You don't have to read it. You don't have to understand any of this. In my old school days, I would write stuff like this. And I tried it and it kind of sort of worked, but it didn't. And I was like, okay, let me take it from this version of Claude and bring it over to this version of Claude. And here we go. Now this is Claude Code. Claude Code runs in the browser. Now, before I ruin this command, I want to show you what I did. I'll show you in a second what it looks like when it's clean and fresh. But Claude Code runs in the browser. It does everything that the regular Claude does, but because I'm running it in the browser, I can actually give it permission to write files directly to my computer and manipulate things like such. Now, don't worry, none of this is giving up any personal information. I'm literally just moving movie files around. So it started working on it. It started telling me, okay, let's try this different approach. About halfway through, I was like, it's kind of running, but the cursor's not giving the output. So let's simplify this. All we want to do is open the Finder window, select the files, and then let me do some things to those files. And then, we're good to go. So I said, okay. So I rewrote the script. It made it more simple. And it came up with the way to do it again, which I'll show you in a second. It's scanning these files real quick. And those are all the names of the actual files in that folder. And trust me, it's a lot. And then it said, okay, yes, this is working. So we got it working. And I said, now wait, this is dope. If I got it working and I want to make this work for somebody else, how about I have you select the days of the week and then have it select the files. So it went down the line and started making some adjustments. It's programming, it's doing this whole 9 yards. And I'm like, this is really cool. All right. So I said it worked, but at the end, we need a Finder alert that says process complete and let us know how many files are in there, and then maybe give some suggestions of what to do next. Tag the files, move them to a safer location, back them up. So you don't have to do anything. These are just suggestions. And so it made the little pop-up, which I'll show you in a second. So again, it made the little Apple script that makes the dialog box pop up. So when your computer says copy finished or, install this update, those are little Apple script pop-ups. That's how that works, okay? And again, you don't have to know that. You just got to tell it what you want to do, give it an example, it'll figure it out. So it says, okay, this all work. And I said, last but not least, in its current form, I can't make this work off the Stream Deck. And so it made a couple adjustments, and then it told me how to do it with the Stream Deck. And I'm like, okay, got it. All right, so now I'm going to take you over to the browser. Let's get you here. Here is my browser window just sitting here in the middle. And on my browser window, actually, let me do something real quick. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to open up Ecamm live demo mode. Boom. And then I'm going to open up my Stream Deck so you can see what I did. Configure the Stream Deck. And here is a script that says, here's the title of the script. I don't like titles on my stuff, so I just put the name of the script. And the script is called Select Files by Day, and it's version 2 because, well, the first version didn't work. So now I'm going to take you back over to my browser window, and I'm going to press this, and you'll see a little window pops up. So let me go back to the browser real quick and press this button. Boom, a little window pops up. It says, what day of the week do I want? Let's pick Saturday. Then I'm going to say, okay. And then it's going to do some thinking. It's processing in the background, and it's going a little bit crazy. And then this window pops up, and it says, what do you want to search? In this particular case, I'm going to search in my Ecamm Live recording folder because that's where the files are. So I say choose. And then now it's running in the background. I will later go and figure out how to add one of those little slider things that let you know what's popping when it's going on. But once it's finished, boom, you're going to get this big window. And let me see if you guys can see this. It says process complete, right? It says 22 files were created on Saturday. So here's some steps you can consider. Tag these files for organization, move them to a safer location like the NAS external drive, back them up to cloud storage. Now that the files are selected in Finder, you're ready for your workflow. So I can just go ahead and say done, and then bring this up a little bit higher so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Let me zoom this out, move this up a little bit. And then here's the files that were created, right? And so now that I know where they are, I know that these are the ones I want, these two. I can tell, actually, those are small. Let me go higher. That 1 gig one is small. Let me go to the top. These ones that are created with 44, 33, 29, 24, 20, 19, 16, those are all the files that I actually want. Everything else is smaller files of me creating videos on Saturday. So I can right click on these, and I'm going to call these ones blue, and I'll right click them again and call them green. So that's how I know that those are from the live streams. Okay. I can go down here with these smaller ones, right? These 3 gigs. I can also tell that they were recorded in the PM, that I don't really need these. So now I can do a search by tags. I can take the smallest ones of this tag group all the way up to about, let's see, I'm scrubbing through, and I take all of these little ones right here. These are all small, 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 nothing really big, small, 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 small. And all the way up to here, these are all trash. I could just take those guys, move them to the trash. All these bigger ones, those are recordings from the Zoom meetings or from the live streams. And now I could do something effective, like move them where they need to go. Family, do you know how much time that's going to save me? When I do it the hard way, it's a pain in the butt. So imagine if you say, go find me all of the audio files that I created in the last year. And if you try to do that on your Finder, it won't be as good because it's going to show you every audio file that was created, including the stuff you downloaded from Epidemic or Artlist or Music or whatever. But if you tell Claude to go find me all the files that I recreated on a Wednesday, maybe even between the hours of 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., it's going to go get you exactly all your podcast audio files so you can back them up safely, or run a program like Mac Whisper to turn them all into transcripts, and then take all of those transcripts and put them into ChatGPT or Claude so you can build some sort of context. Like if your file organization is a mess, you might even say, take a look at this folder of craziness and give me an organization plan as to how I can make this look better. It would know how to do that. Like, it's really crazy. It's really crazy. You could even say, hey, I need a way to organize all of my footage that I'm creating. And I'm needing things like main camera, second camera, A-roll, B-roll, effects, whatever, and say, give me a cool folder structure that will do this and a way to make these absolutely duplicatable. It can do that. Like, there are so many things that you can get it to do, including rename all of these files something prettier. So like, I can tell it, now that I know what I'm doing, I'm going to go back and modify this file again and be like, now when you select the files that I create on Tuesday, anything that on Tuesday was created before noon, just automatically label it Creators Unstuck and don't mess with the rest of the name. It can do that. Like, these are just some ideas I got. Ask Claude or ChatGPT to help you with the rest of the ideas. But family, this was so easy to do and it's super cool. And if you want to know more about it, let me know. Maybe I can make a more detailed thing. I just wanted to give you the ideas of the stuff that you could do by using either Codex or Claude in there. As a matter of fact, I might even install Xcode and say, turn this into a real Mac app, because this is something that I do all the time when it comes to file organization as a content creator. And it's kind of a pain in the butt. And most organization programs are about copying and moving and renaming, but nothing about helping you find the ones created on this exact. Matter of fact, Finder doesn't have it built in. Like, the standard built-in Finder search does not have the ability to search by day, which is dumb. Like, because you should be able to do that, because most of us who work, Tuesdays is accounting days. Maybe I want to find all of the Excel files created on the Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of crazy that it doesn't exist. So I just figured out how to make it exist. And I got to say big ups to Claude for this. And Alec, as a person who loves to do automation, I know you're going to find something that you can do with it. And when you do, buddy, make a video and share it with the rest of us. Tag me in it. If you guys got a crazy idea that you think you might want to try with this and you don't know where to start, tag me in it. I'll do my best to make it for you, even though I might not have the exact same files you have. I'll tell Claude to make me a bunch of fake files that I can then attempt to do what you're trying to do. Like, it's been that cool. It's legit that cool. Anyway, that's me and Claude Code trying to clean up this Mac. I don't know who need to hear this. Well, except Alec and maybe Alicia. But if it was you, let me know in the comment section below. If you like this video, press the like button, press the subscribe button, and ring the notification bell. And right about now, the algorithm is going to show you another video that I think you should watch. And I agree with him.
I need to know everything. Who and the what and the where. I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George. I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse. I'm ready for war. I'm coming for throats to turn to a ghost. I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk.